Well, hello there, and welcome back to Armored Warfare. I'm Corny Swiss, and today I've got two relatively quick replays that I've put together. The first one is a PvP game I played in the Leo 1, and the second is a PvE game I played in the M60. I haven't made an Armored Warfare video recently, and with Early Access 4 being up 24/7, I've gotten a lot more opportunity to play than in the past. And the changes they're making are subtle, but they're very welcome, and a lot of them seem to be quality of life gameplay type things. Like, for example, in the other early access tests, your cursor would for some reason speed up in the scope. Well, it doesn't do that anymore. It's much smoother, and or at least to me it's much smoother. Maybe they optimized it, whatever they did. There's a lot of just quality of life things. Also, for this test, they started you off with a boatload of free XP, so that you could kind of get out of the low tiers. They've also redone the low tiers, where the second tier is like for the kind of the more Soviet dealer. His second tier vehicle in the main battle tank line is a T-54, whereas in the women's line, it's M48 Patton. So they kind of pushed out the whole thing where you got to drive a Scorpion against like T-62s and all that, and that's pretty nice. But I really like the Leo 1. This is about the farthest I've gone so far. Is I have the M60 and I have the Leo 1. Should be getting the Starship and the OF-40 or whatever it's called pretty soon. But in this game, I'm really trying to kind of hug this corner. I'm trying to take opportune shots to kind of lighten up the pressure here. One of the issues I still have with Armored Warfare, though, is the games are incredibly fast-paced, which is what I expect. That's fine. That's not actually a problem. But a lot of times, the games are over insanely quickly. And by over, I mean the enemy have a 7-tank lead and everyone just gets annihilated. There really doesn't seem to be a you kind of win type of game. It always seems to be that one team absolutely annihilates another, or the game's close for a long time, but then all of a sudden just tables turn and everyone dies on your team or the enemy team. And so it seems to be very I don't quite know what the problem is. I just know what the result of the problem is, and that's that you have a lot of games that end, 15-4. That's a common score I've seen, and sometimes even worse than that. So that's just something that I'm sure will be kind of ironed out, or maybe that's how the game is supposed to play. Maybe it's supposed to be, you mass firepower properly and you just annihilate the enemy team because they can't deal with you. But my time is slowly ticking out over here. I'm trying to work over this M60. His first shot looks like it went into the dirt. Mine goes in and penetrates. I think I have a better rate of fire. Oh no, he got a shot off too, but did knock him out. But you can almost see what I mean. This game's tide is slowly turning. We are going to end up losing this game, and I'm going to do a fair amount of damage, almost 3,000 damage, which I'm stoked about because I'm not very good at Armored Warfare. I need to just play more. I get knocked out, and from here on out, the enemy team kind of just ran over us. And so let's move on to the next replay, shall we? And here we are in the PvE game. I really like the PvE mode. I feel like being able to sometimes kick back and not really play against players who are maybe much better than you is a welcome change. And it's not that the AI is really bad. They're okay. Like, they can kill you, and they sometimes will kill you. But they're just not that good, which is kind of welcome. I find playing the PvE is a good way to kind of start with a tank, kind of get a feel for what it does, get a feel for the gun depression. And especially if you're a new player, it's excellent for kind of figuring out some of the mechanics, like, oh my god, what happens when RD starts targeting me? Well, in this, you'll see that. You'll see what happens when RD starts targeting you. You get that icon, and then shells start incoming. So it's a very cool way to kind of experiment. And for example, that I just was targeting a starship, an M60A2 starship. I've never actually had to fight one of those. I thought I might be able to bust down that wall in front of me, but I can't. I've never had to fight one of those. I fought next to them, and they're basically just really beefy Sheridans. But I don't know how to shoot one, so that was a good experience right there, knowing, okay, the turret is like a tough place to shoot those guys, because according to my armor indicator, I didn't really have a solid way to shoot him. But the reward isn't huge in PvE, as it should be. You know, you think about it, you are playing against bots, so the reward won't be high. But you can really get a feel for the tanks, and this is a mode that it seems a lot of games, I mean, World of Warships has a co-op mode. This has a co-op mode. You know, War Thunder kind of does, with you can do custom missions and things like that, sort of. World of Tanks obviously doesn't, but World of Tanks is kind of it's an older game, really, compared to these newer kids on the block, even if they are made by the same company. And I think World of Tanks having like a co-op mode would actually be really, really good. I feel like it wouldn't be that much different than the World of Warships one, which is useful for new players because it lets you figure out things like lead and kind of what a ship feels like. So I think I actually really like the PvE modes. Kind of lets you take a chill pill and enjoy the game when you're having a rough time. And speaking of having a rough time, I don't want to raise any alarms, but I am getting a little frustrated with War Thunder at the moment. I just want to, you know, fair warning, you might see some more World of Tanks, World of Warships, Armored Warfare while the early access is up. Early access is up till August 30th, I believe. You might see some more of these games just because War Thunder's been kind of grinding me. Like, it's what's the best way to put it? It's kind of like I haven't really found a sort of happy place. Before, my happy place was playing 3.7 battle rating because I felt like it was fairly straightforward and I had a lot of fun there. Now that's kind of overrun. I don't have as much fun there, so I've been trying to find like a different battle rating or a different machine that I can play that isn't like super overpowered or anything like that. Or, you know, you get my drift. You understand what I'm trying to say. And I'm just not finding that right now. And I'm still working on reviews, and I'm still thinking about revisits. And because I mean, honestly, every tank I've reviewed needs a revisit to some degree. But I'm gonna try and do some revisits. Gonna try and keep grinding the tank review. I'm working on the T10 at the moment. I have it. I have one clip. I want to get another one, and I want to fully formulate my opinion. But you'll notice that the output of reviews and things like that has gone down, and that's not. There is kind of a reason behind that, and that's just I've been struggling to play War Thunder in such a way that I enjoy all the games. Like there's been times where I'm just like, okay, I need to log on and get a couple games. I log on, get a couple games, and I'm like, thank God, you know, I can do something else, you know. And honestly, that's not uncommon for me. I've burned out of games and I've gotten back into them. That happens to me all the time. My Steam library is a perfect example. There's plenty of games where I played them incessantly for a long time, and then I kind of took a step back, played some other stuff, and came back to them. The Total War games are a prime example. When they launch, I just play them never-endingly, you know. And then eventually when that kind of wears off for me, I jump back into something else, and then next thing you know, a couple months later, I'm back into it. So it's probably just kind of a phase almost, I guess. Phase is the wrong word, but it makes sense. And so obviously don't be alarmed by that. But I just want to explain kind of what War Thunder's doing for me right now. A lot of it is that there's just situations that arise that I get very frustrated with, and I'm a fairly mellow guy, so when something frustrates me, it's usually something I take pretty seriously, and sometimes I shouldn't, but you know, so that's why I'm gonna kind of be mixing in things just to keep content fresh, and appeal to a bunch of different gameplay types, but also kind of give myself a little bit of a break from War Thunder where I don't have to be focused so much on it. So, yeah. But anyways, thanks for watching. I've been Corny Swiss, and I'll see you next time.